This broadcast is inappropriate for all ages, right here on Jam on Toast. It's the watch spot. Salutations, I am Kamurai and I am conversation ready. We're here today to talk about things and stuff we've been watching. And I gotta be honest, there's been a lot of nothing on my TV shows, on my stories this week. On top of that, I kind of burnt myself out on binge watching a series. I finished up Community last week, and then after that, I think I was a lost little lamb. It's like I just had Community on for so long because I just want something nice and familiar. Yeah, I know. I just wanted something nice and familiar, and funny and uplifting, and Community was definitely it. And then when it was over, even after that last kind of weird couple seasons, I just didn't know what to do, but I knew I didn't want to jump into something else that was like 6 seasons long. Um, I watched some movies here and there, but I didn't like watch them seriously. I just kind of had them on. So we'll run across some of those. There were two platforms that actually did have things. I'm going to bring them both up. And I'm talking about those, and I'll go through the other platforms. CBS. Let's start there because we usually do. I'm a big fan. I'm a paying customer for Commercialists and Star Trek Discovery, but that was really all that was fucking on there this week. Like I'm looking at this, 60 Minutes, Amazing Race, Celebrity Big Brother. Shit I don't watch. What I could have done is I could have gone back and watched The Good Fight or whatever it is with Rose Leslie. But I didn't think of that, and I haven't really been in the mood to binge watch anything. So I'm kind of glad I didn't. I did forget to go check and see what movies they had out. So once again, we will try that. It's the same 30 from the last time we checked. Children of Lesser Gods, Stephen King's Dead Zone, and The Italian Job, which I said I was going to go watch. I can't do it tonight. Maybe tomorrow when I'm doing stuff. I've got to figure some shit out. So maybe while I'm reorganizing the room a little bit. But that was really it. That was it from the CW. I really don't need this up in my face. Ugh. See, and I've been in the slow process of rearranging the entire room, so it's not necessarily like this is any closer, but the background's been fixed a lot, so I can sit back and use the space, because normally I'm all the way up here for whatever reason, and I'm trying to make sure like my face is in frame from hair to hair, and it's but I can just do this. It's fine. I'll talk to you. It's good. It's good. I think this is a little closer to how we normally end up with it. So what I may actually do is fix that so it's not taking up so much space this way again, and we'll see. First off, real excited about seeing Constantine in Legends of Tomorrow. It's a real good place for him to show up, being that they are throughout time, so it doesn't really matter chronologically. They get to use him as Constantine, and I know he really likes the role. He's mentioned it a few times, and they were really looking forward to another season coming back. God damn cat. They have certain behaviors when I get on here, and one of them is they'll come over, and the other one is they'll go scratch the shit out of something. I was trying to go to shows, see what I caught on, because I missed a lot of this last week. So I have an order that I go through them. Oh god, I missed the 100. That's been happening to me lately. So I watched Supergirl back to back. It was Supergirl, a lot of Kryptonian fighting. We got to see Mrs. Iron Man Luther. That was kind of a cool surprise. I didn't realize that was going to happen. But it's cool to catch up on that. They're all doing great on the show. It just doesn't wow me like it does a lot of people, because I'm aware that like it's Supergirl, she's got it. But fighting against her best friend that they don't know is their best friend, which kind of takes some of it out of me. I don't know, like that she's also a Kryptonian, but she's not a Kryptonian because she's this other house, and I don't know. Like I need a bunch of research that I don't want to do in order to appreciate it, and I don't want to do it. The Flash has been outed. technically. Though I think the warden, may have died. I really don't know. I don't know how they ended that. But, like, doing a prison breakout with the other metas, and then, where they left it was so weird, because I thought they were going to, like, use the cute little, Jinx girl some more, and I was like, oh, they all do their jobs with it, but, like, hers was really fun, because you, like, get to go around and just live out a dream, and then watch everyone else crumble. And she actually, like, last minute learned how to use her powers, and because the fucking warden's a dick, Barry didn't have his super speed to help. And I don't know if it's like a lesbian chic thing or whatever, but having I can't remember his name. I think is it Monroe. Go into her body of all things. I don't know why his body switched again. It was really interesting, and then you kind of see his wife struggle with it, because she's not used to this, obviously, and she's not used to the new powers happening, especially the mind reading. And then it turns out, like, he's probably been drugging her the whole time, so she's actually a prisoner, whether she realizes it or not, which is really fucked up. So a lot of people, the internet's gonna be on fire with that. Bet your ass. Then I will go over to Arrow, because that kind of finishes up the DCU. We see Caden James wrap up. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting it to ever wrap up. But we learn things I don't want to spoil either. So we wrap up Caden James. We learn stuff about Black Siren. I'm willing to bet that even though the one guy's dead, the other guy is not. The one that we're all upset about. I'll say it like that. I don't think he's dead. I think we're going to use his death as a motivator, and he's going to show up later because of factors. Ooh, I like how I phrased that. And then I jumped into Black Lightning, because I'm really enjoying the show. I don't care if you want to make the argument it's a black show for black people. It goes back to core elements of comic book superheroes, and I like that. And it is a guy who, even in normal circumstances, stands up for himself and for other people, and plays a normal everyday hero. And then he has his powers, and he's forced himself to do that everyday hero thing for 10 years. And then seeing his powers actually work against him is actually interesting. So just being Superman's not interesting to me. It's like, oh, well, you never really have conflict. Oh, I'm afraid of dirt from my home planet. Brr. Like, we have to go to that kind of type of silliness. But, I mean, Black Lightning is a street level hero. I like that. He's not really threatened by hand to hand with people. And it turns out, like, they've got magno grabs and stuff. They keep adding cool tech to him. But he's got to be smart about it. He's got to be strategic. He's vulnerable if, like, they actually do shoot him. So it's kind of like watching a Batman, or like a DC version of Luke Cage, where, like, they were like, we got to do something more than have him punch. So there is cool stuff there, and if you just look at it as a story, as you should, about these people and their struggles, it's actually really fucked up, and it's more than just politics. It's actually a war happening. Whereas, like, these gangs are actually, like, ready to go and take it to civilians and just en masse things, and they're dealing out drugs and ruining lives left and right. It's there's a lot more going on than it was in Harlem in Luke Cage, if we're gonna compare it like that. So I'm really enjoying that. I'm really seeing him grow back into being the superhero again, because that was kind of off-putting at first, where he didn't want to be the superhero. It's like, well, then fuck it. It's really awkward. It's like, oh, you're doing this thing, but you don't really want to do it. I'd rather you want to believe in magic. DC Legends Tomorrow. I did actually watch that before Black Lightning. That's where Constantine came up, but I had talked about it. And that usually wraps up, because that's my favorite show out of the DCU. It has the best characters on it. I know that's weird because they took all the junk characters that they aren't using anymore in the other shows and made this other show. But honestly, they play off each other better than any of the other teams do. And it's the one situation where having a team makes sense. The Flash doesn't need a team. You can have a support crew that sits back and like, hey, I need help finding a guy. Will you find him for me? And Arrow, I imagine, would do things like that too. But I just don't get why they're not solo heroes. Maybe I'm not as familiar with the comics. Maybe they're not intended like that. Jumped over Supernatural today because I got to work from home. So I watched those out of order. That pissed me off. It's the wrong time to do that too, because because where I started at is where Lucifer gets out of the other dimension, and him and Castiel are prison buddies. And then the next episode, which I watched first, is Lucifer running around and everybody chasing him and him chasing the other angels. And then he sits on the throne of heaven, which is a cliffhanger that should have been for like the post-credits. And so when you go to the next episode, you'd be like, where was this? Like, that should have been that much of a surprise. And then the show that I always resist, but I always love so much as I'm watching it, Riverdale. A lot of politics going on in this one. I've got to be honest. Betty seems to be working through the internet in costume and working on her dirty dominant talk. So that was a foreshadowing I'm looking forward to seeing results on later. Archie's getting further and further in with Veronica. Betty's actually lining back up with Jughead. And the Serpents, Jughead went through another tension power move with the Serpents. Like I said, a lot of politics shit. And then the Lodges are in a power position with the mayor again. And then the big thing was Archie kind of being accepted into the crime family. They even went so far as to have the fake FBI agent on him. That was a little too much for me. I kind of fell out after that. Okay, look, I'm going to try to stumble across Amazon, because again, Amazon doesn't show you your viewing history, so I don't know what I actually watched on this. I know I tried to watch a couple things, but I think they were fucked up dirty comedies, and I took them off my watch list if they were ever on there to begin with. Looking over my watch list really quick, since Gordon Gibbons, I don't think I actually watched anything off of here. I should have tried. At least need to give F to the thing. Let's look at movies. I did buy Happy Death Day today. I'm sure we're going to watch that over on Rabbit/Kamurai. Click is back on there. I'm probably going to watch that at some point. I'll tell you about it next week. I'll probably do a review for that one if I have the time, because I'm behind on my other reviews. Is Descent still? Nope, Descent's on Showtime. It's a good one, though. Pan? No, Pan's not available. Sad. So let's go over to what the general thing is, see if I can figure out anything from here. I wasn't really watching TV. Behaving Badly looks familiar. That looks like something I watched. Young and in Love, Rick is willing to do whatever it takes to win the heart of Nina. Oh, Selena Gomez. Oh, I definitely did not watch that. Sorry, there's a sad piece of discovery in the courtroom. Wait. That's Hannah Marks? Hold on. There's The Secret of Scripture. I'm putting it on my watch list just to check it out later. Again, I probably won't. I remember What If. I remember that coming up. The guy who played Harry Potter. I can't remember. Daniel Radcliffe showed up. I gotta be honest, I'm gonna move past Amazon Prime. I need to watch history. I'm not gonna. God, I need to do it. I need to just write it all down. And I used to be really good at it. Absent of my time management skills. Let's pop over to Netflix and see what we've been doing there. So, Ultra Carbon, Premature, I think I talked about last time. Really good coming of age Groundhog's Day show. Really knocks it out of the park. I think it adds some cool stuff to the original formula. Natural Selection. Do not fucking watch that piece of trash. I could not finish it. It's some... Oh, no, that was the Preppy Connection. So what was Natural Selection? I apologize. I didn't mean to... I just saw the thumbs down. And assumed... But the Preppy Connection's a piece of shit where he goes to some private school to reform, and it's just boring. And then Natural Selection, I expected... something good, because as the Duke, a shy high school senior, finds himself tormented by his peers except one. His new friend has a dark, infectious outlook. And that was just the school shooter influencing some popular kid. It just... Unleashed, Kate Micucci has two guys who show up that used to be her cat and dog into her life. That was actually really funny. The premise is fucking stupid and ridiculous, and I wouldn't be surprised if Miss Micucci wrote it herself, because it seems up her alley, because it's cute and adorable in a potentially annoying way. But it was a good movie. I said a lot of things that might have been negative there, but it was a good movie when it came down to it. It was really enjoyable. Watching a grown man act like a cat was just not what I wanted to do. It's like, no. So maybe for a chick flick, maybe it'll be good fodder. I tried to watch Byzantium as I was falling asleep, which was a mistake. It's got the girl from the Host on it. I think she was in Lady Bird as well. On the Run from Gruesome Crime. Oh yeah, it's where her and her sister are vampires. When we first met. So this was a cool time travel movie. It's kind of like Click, honestly, but in reverse. So instead of fast forwarding forward to see what your life is so that you can make changes now to be better in the future, he gets to go back in time to redo certain chunks. So it's kind of like Click meets Groundhog's Day. Redo things, but he gets to go back, and then he gets like essentially one day, and then it fast forwards back to the present. So he doesn't get to experience all the shitty things he does in between when he goes back and when he went back in the first place. And so even when he gets what he wants, he doesn't get what he wants, and that's the whole thing, is to learn to appreciate what's in front of you instead of pining for things that you think you want when you don't actually want them, because you don't know what that means. I got through another 3 episodes of Kakegurui. I don't know what it is with this show that I keep starting it back up, but like I can't get through more than 3 episodes at a time with that shit, and then I'm just like, I'm done, never again. And then eventually I sneak back to it. It's really weird. Let's see, I've got a couple other movies on here that I'm not entirely sure about. Heartthrob. Oh my god, this was an intense good movie. So the kid from Atypical, I can only assume it's Keir Gilchrist. Yes, that's got to be him. Okay, there's this other movie called The Good Neighbor where he's looking at the camera in the thing. I've got to have... Oh, is he in It Follows too? Interesting. I got to put that back on my list. So it's I don't know if he's supposed to be like near atypical in this one, but he's really intensely in love with this girl, and he's ready to like change his entire life for her, to the point where he's like murdering fools. I'm gonna spoil that right away. So it's a really obsessive compulsive love story that is more about obsession than love. And it has a really good ending too, I'll be honest. Let's see, we've got The Ritual, which I can't recommend. It's like a bro movie. Like, it's like if The Hangover had one of their friends die and then they all went to the woods. That's what that is. I don't know what it ends up. I think I stopped about halfway through, or I fell asleep, one of the two. Lovesick was a good movie. Matt LeBlanc, Ali Larter. Matt LeBlanc acting crazy because he's in love, but he's only crazy when he's in love, about who he's in love. So it's a very specific psychosis, which I find fascinating on a psychological perspective. And there's a bunch of weird supporting characters which make the movie fun. And Ali Larter does a good job on her own. Matt LeBlanc's great. I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to, as lovely as Ali Larter is, it's hard to take her as like the main lead love interest, because she always adds like a certain edge to the character that ends up leaning her more towards badass than lovable. And it's not that she's not. Maybe I just have her stuck from like Resident Evil in my head. Let's see. Oh yeah, I went back to an old and familiar. American Pie, Bandcamp, Naked Mile, and Book of Love, I think, are all on Netflix right now, along with American Pie and American Pie 2. American Wedding's probably on there. I haven't got around to Book of Love, but I watched Bandcamp and Naked Mile, and yay, boobies. It's got some funny bits and such aside from that, but like doing little people jokes, not a huge fan of that. I'm not a party guy, so like the party scenes are funny, but they're not like knock me on the floor, laugh out loud funny like it might be for some of you people. Secret Life of Pets it's an interesting movie, but I can't get behind it. That's DreamWorks, right? DreamWorks has like this weird. And let's lose CK as the main guy, so it's kind of makes it weird for me. Who is it DreamWorks or not? I will play it and so we can see. You know what? I'm just gonna Google it. Google that shit, yo. I think it's DreamWorks. It's just DreamWorks kind of like it's always off a little bit for me. It's never like quite right. And I think it's just their animation style, and that's fine. I'm a Pixar guy, and the animation's not perfect over there, but it's just more palatable for me. I'm not seeing it. Oh yeah, so the little fluffy girl is okay. I keep seeing her pop up in things. The little fluffy dog is a little cute Jewish girl. She was in the Accordion King thing. I can't remember, Popinski or something like that. I don't know. Sleeping with Other People. This was a fantastic movie. Let's see if I can find the Polka King. That's what it was. Jack Black. Yeah, the Polka King. She plays Jack Black's wife. So if I click on this, will it not play it? Don't play it. Don't play it. Give me the details. Thank you. Give me the cast. Why are you mean? So I'm assuming it's Jenny Slate. Is that her picture? Yeah. So Jenny Slate's in the thing I said. Oh yeah, she plays the voice of the Secret Life in Pets. She's fun. She's a really good voice actor too. Sleeping with Other People. Oh, I can't give this enough thumbs up. I love Alison Brie. She's fantastic. She won my heart over with Annie, alongside with Jillian Jacobs. I can watch those two in anything, and I tend to lead that challenge. Don Glover is actually another really good pickup from that. And the guy who plays Abed, which I don't know his name, but I would probably watch anything with those guys in it again. I'd at least give it a shot. But this is fucking fantastic, especially since the last thing I saw her in was Annie. Watching her and Jason Sudeikis be sex addicts. It's a real sweet story. They lose their virginity to each other and they go off to be horrible sluts, to the point where it's debilitating to their lives, not like necessarily fully in a fun way. So they actually like find each other and help each other kind of get off sex, and build the rest of the relationship, which I can't get behind enough. That like that's a good thing for you. I'm not saying cut out the sex part, but make sure you build the rest of it. It's great. So it's just a sweet movie about how they've always loved each other. Real quick, we're gonna do Hulu, and then I gotta go. Gotta go. Community is that whole page. I love Community. Community's so great. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's worth every second of watching these. So yeah, I caught up on Child Support because I'd missed it the previous week. It's still a good game show. Honestly though, I don't want to fucking watch these adults fail at this. I just want to watch the kids answer questions. And there's literally nothing else going on here except for Brockmire, which I thought was gonna suck. I watched it because I like the main guy. It's the guy who played Gargamel in the Smurfs. Fuck me. Can I know what it is without Jim Brockmeyer's back. Show details. Well, it's just that. That's all we're talking about. So he's a radio announcer that's like, it was a really conservative guy back in the day. He's a radio announcer for baseball. So he's got a great baseball voice, and he doesn't sound like this, but he sounds very professional. Like, and tell you folks about the third inning, and there's a double up, picked up by the shortstop through the third base, and he knows how to call a base of the plays and talk and pace is right, and the guy nails it. There's a certain pace. If you've ever listened to those guys in real life, it's fantastic. But he's a guy who's famous for having a meltdown about his wife cheating on him, because his wife, we'll call her a sex or love addict if you want to do that, but she's a dirty slut, and she's proud of it. In this case, I'm not saying that in a bad way. Be sexually adventurous. Be safe. One way or the other, having a certain amount of multiple partners without protection puts you at risk. But as long as you trust everybody and everybody's consenting, it's a good time. And I'm down with that. But he, at the time, wasn't. He hadn't caught up to that. It's the whole kind of coming of age experience thing where it's like, well, she had a threesome once. If you watch Chasing Amy with us on Sunday, you'll see what I'm talking about. So it's this wanting to gain that experience to match and feeling inferior because you don't have that. It's all based off that craziness. So he has a meltdown. He divorces her. He leaves the country and goes on a worldwide tour calling cricket games and shit. For long enough that he doesn't understand what social media is. Like, he doesn't understand what Twitter is. He's like, why are birds using the internet? And he's an alcoholic and a drug addict and a womanizer at this point. I'm sorry, not a womanizer. He's actually really not. But he's sexually adventurous now, and he's had these things. But he's all fucked up in the head because he's had all these traumatic things emotionally happen to him. So he gets dragged back by someone who really loves him, loves the town that he's from. I'm sorry, not the he's from, but like where he called this famous game. And so he's kind of there to save the studio, or be the face of saving the studio and saving the team, or not the studio, the stadium, and saving the team that plays at home on the stadium. And so Amanda Peet is kind of the owner and manager of the team and the stadium and everything. And she is pulling at every stop to try to save this place because it's pretty much the only thing in the town that it doesn't have to do with cooking meth. Or taking meth. So she's trying to really like be a hero and take on all this responsibility and save this town. So the story could easily be from either perspective. They're just slightly different stories that happen to coincide, and it's my favorite synopsis for what a good relationship is. It's two people that are brought together and then run parallel and don't necessarily intertwine. So that right now they're running parallel, and for the foreseeable future, this is going to continue. As the show goes on, to the point where I've watched, because there's only 8 episodes so far. I don't know if that ended the season or not. The contention, the big cliffhanger is he going to leave or is he going to stay? As he's starting to get some other offers, because they managed to use social media, his big crux, because that's how everyone knew him as a crazy guy, to their advantage to try to get more people listening to him and about the team and everything. So it's really worth checking out. Amanda Peet, well, I personally don't like her a whole lot. Does a good job. Her and Ashton Kutcher. I cannot tell you. Like, A Lot Like Love is one of the great love stories of its time. Starring Ashton Kutcher and Amanda Peet, fantastic. They both know how to act. I don't have to like them for that. And I don't know what it is. So like, I can say that they both do a good job in certain spaces and not particularly like them. And honestly, looking back on her career, Saving Silverman, Whole 9 Yards, Whole 10 Yards, Brockmire, there was something else that she did that I really liked. I mean, A Lot Like Love, she was fantastic in. She was a really weird character in that for her. Amanda Peet. I love going to IMDb and talking to IMDb, but we got to get over to Rabbit here soon. So we're gonna make this short. She's done some TV lately. Looks like she's been on Togetherness, The Good Wife. She was in Sleeping with Other People. Oh, that's right, she was. So that's another movie where she did really good. Identity Thief, The Way Back. What is this? Bent? Why does that make me want to go check that out? How I Met Your Mother. She was Jenkins. That's right. She was the girl that Lily thought was a guy. Okay. Through Marshall's stories, because Marshall didn't want to tell Igby Goes Down. Oh man, she used to be in a bunch of stuff. Oh, she was in Jack and Jill. Oh, TV series Jack and Jill. So he loses it. Playing by Heart. Simply Irresistible. Jump. Man, some of these I do not know. Okay, that's enough of that. That's really all I got. I've got to go do, like I said, jump over on Rabbit/Kamurai sometime with us. Fridays and Sunday nights. Until you see me next time, have a nice day. Want to see anything else we're up to, go ahead and click the annotations, and they'll take you to other channels. Thanks for watching.